Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Inessa and I am an indie author from Toronto, Canada, and I publish under the pen name A.N. Sage. I write in fantasy, some sci-fi, a lot of mystery, and a lot of it is in the young adult space, though I am switching genres and we're going to talk about that in today's video as well. Now, if you like videos about writing, behind the scenes, what it means to be a creative entrepreneur in this day and age, and a ton of planner and stationery videos, then make sure that you're subscribed and you hit the notification button so you don't miss any new content. So we are in our final video of Preptober, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm exhausted. Preptober has been really difficult for me this year. As I mentioned in other videos, I have not done NanoWrimo in a bit. My writing schedule has not aligned with it. I was always either promoting a book or editing, or it just fell somewhere in between. And so this is the first NanoWrimo that I'm participating in quite some time. I think the last one was book 5 in Shadowhurst. So a while back. I did write and I won Nano 3 times. I've completed Ether Wars during Nano. I've completed some of Cartago. Cartago was like 120,000 words long, so I did not complete the whole book during Nano, but I did complete the 50K and then the 5th book in Shadowhurst. So I have done well during Nano, but that was all in genres that I knew a lot about. This time in Nano, I decided I'm going to write a paranormal cozy mystery, which you would think that the paranormal mystery part would be very similar to what I write. However, it is not. And planning it and learning about how to write it and just reading more in the genre has taken up a lot of my time. What has also taken up a lot of my time is trying to finish book 8 in Shadowhurst. Now, I got quite a big bulk of it done. However, I realized that I am rushing through it. And so I'm going to be making some publishing changes, and that announcement will come out like on my newsletter and social media. So if you're a reader, make sure that you are either on my newsletter or you follow me on social somewhere, because I'll be announcing, usually in the Facebook group is the best, because I'll be announcing some changes of when you can expect book 8 in Shadowhurst. It's a decision that I did not make lightly, but it's the best decision for the book because my mind was just not in it. And my plan originally was to roll the book over into Nano, finish writing that, and then start on this cozy. But I knew that if the Nano project wasn't completely plotted out, then I'd just be stuck in this limbo land in kind of the middle once I finished writing Shadowhurst 8. And then not only would I not win Nano, but I would have to stop writing and start editing. And it just, like my brain would be too disjointed to work on 2 projects. I could never write 2 projects at the same time. That was never me. And this was feeling like it. So I had to make some changes. So why are we having this video today? So with the fact that I am so close to Nano starting in like a day and a half, really, so when this goes live, I have almost no time left. Now I'm a plotter. I'm a huge plotter. But it got me to thinking, people who are pantsers do very well in Nano, and they write quite a bit. They might edit a bit harder. They might not have a clean drafts like I usually do, but they write. And that's what I need to do. I need to write. And so not that I'm going to be a pantser, but I thought, how could I plot, but plot not as intensively, at least to get myself started. Because the issue that I ran into is whatever I plotted before, I did not like the story. I liked the story, but there were parts that were not strong enough, so they have to be replotted. Now, I'm going to keep the bulk of the plot that I already had, but I wanted to kind of have almost like a guide for myself, a short plot, if you will. And so what I decided to do was put together a 1-page plot. And I think this would be perfect for anybody who's kind of leaving plotting to the last minute, or maybe didn't plot and then decided that, hey, you know what? I might need some kind of outline. I need direction. Also, if you're a pantser, this 1-page plot is very simple, and it might be really inspiring. It might help inspire a different story than you thought you were writing. So if you are on my newsletter for this channel, then you will already have links to the resource library. And I have uploaded this one-page plot document. It's a PDF. It's a letter-sized PDF that's labeled one-page plot. You can download it straight from there. If you're not on the newsletter, make sure you're joined, and then you get access to all the different resources there. But I just kind of want to go over on what you can expect from this one-page plot and how to work with it. The first section at the top is the goal, motivation, and conflict section. I think if you're not going to be fully plotting your story, you should at least have an idea of what your character is going through, because it might help you as you write your story. So we have the goal, inner and outer, we have motivation, inner and outer, and we have conflict, inner and outer. If you want more detailed explanations on what any of that means. Again, there are detailed plot sheets as well, detailed character arc plot sheets in the resource library, but there's also videos that I can link. So that's the top section. And then we go into what I would call a very simplified beat plot. So it's some of the main beats that you would expect, not all of them, but just the main ones that I think are enough to get a story going. So the first one is the opening image, because you kind of want to know where your story starts. The opening image is where you set up where your story begins. You introduce the character, the backup characters, any secondary characters, love interests, and stuff. So that could be your opening image. And I think it's important to know that, because it gives you a jumping off point, even if it's a couple sentences, which is what this one-page plot really is. Then you have your catalyst. Your catalyst is what is going to take your character from the world as they know it into a different new world, into the adventure. So again, a very important beat. This beat is what drives the plot forward, right? This is the thing where, like a doorway of no return kind of, where your character goes from point A into point B in order to later reach point C or Z or whatever point they're going for. The other plot point you kind of want to think about in this one-page plot is the midpoint. The midpoint is the middle of your book, and usually this is when the character starts to turn things around. There's usually another doorway in the midpoint, and it kind of guides the story forward. It divides your story in half. So you want to make sure that that midpoint, something is happening there that is crucial to your story, which is why I think it's important to think about it in your one-page plot. Another next point that you might want to think about is your character's low point. And this will go back to the conflict that affects the goal that you would have already thought about at the top part of the sheet. But your character's low point is the part where they're really down on themselves. They don't think they can make it. Now, the reason that I put this on here and why I think it is important is because your character's low point is going to really up the stakes. So it's going to help you figure out what could have happened as you're writing to get them to that low point. So if you are pantsing, you can always think of that low point coming up, and as you're writing the story, you can build up to it. So just dump more and more on your main character is what I'm saying. Then you also want to think about the aha moment. The aha moment is the opposite of the low point, right? So that's the point in the story where your character goes back to kind of their goal and realizes, you know what, I can get there. It's important to think about this because much like the low point, you can work towards setting up your story in such a way that the aha point is really meaningful to your character. So you might want to think about that as part of your one-page plot. The last two beats that I think are important to think about if you're going to loosely outline or loosely plot are the final battle, which is the big hurrah that happens at the end. You kind of just want to have an idea what it's about, what's going to happen, and it doesn't have to be a physical battle, obviously, but this is like the big thing that happens at the end. And the final image. How does your story end? Now, if you take some of those away, if you want to be even more loose with your one-page plot, you could just really think about your opening image, your midpoint, and your final image. start, middle, and end, right? But I think thinking of some of the points and the beats in between will really help you kind of flesh out how the story is moving along. And it will really help you, even if you're a pantser, to have this in the back of your mind as you're writing. Now, this one page will probably only take you like maybe 30 minutes to fill out. So if you are leaving all of this plotting and thinking about the story kind of to the last minute, or if you've been thinking about the story but you have nothing written down, I would consider downloading the sheet and filling it out and seeing where you're at, because it might actually let you see where there are holes in your story, and as you're writing you can fix it, or you can fix it right away. So I hope you guys kind of found this helpful. The video was mostly just to go over the one-page plot sheet and offer it to you guys. So you have tomorrow, I guess, final day to prep before Nano. So I hope this is useful for you. If anything, if you already have plotted the crap out of your story, this might be good to fill out and just have at your desk as just a little cheat sheet of what's coming up and about your character as well. So lots of uses for this one single sheet. Carry it around with you if you need to make copies. Just remind yourself of what your story is, and then you can think about it more on the go as well. So hope you guys found that useful. Make sure you let me know if you want any other resources. I know that Scrivener templates have been in the list, so those are coming up next month. I will have a couple that I will upload into the resource library. But if there's any other resources that you'd like for me to create and make videos about, then let me know. Or if you just have any questions. And then if the question is big enough that I think we can do a full video on it, then I'll go ahead and do that. Or if not, I will always respond in the comments. So to anyone participating in Nano, good luck. Pressure is on. We're almost there. You can do it. You don't have to get 50K. Any words are words. So as long as you are writing, then that's great. It's really all about the community. So I hope that you are enjoying it there. Leave your handle below. I'd love to be friends with you on the platform for NanoWrimo. And I will talk to you guys next week. Stay magical, stay warm, and see you soon. Bye.